What's going on? It's Astronaut H, and this is the What More Do You Want Network. Now, in this video, I will be discussing the playoff play-in game between the New Orleans Pelicans and Oklahoma City Thunder. And of course, you guys know, man, where do I start? Now, of course, this is the 9-10 matchup, and I was excited, to say the least, to see Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and Josh Giddey and those young, hungry group of, I'm not going to call them lions or hyenas or whatever, a lot of animals, but to see that young group in a setting like that, in a playoff setting, atmosphere, on the road, against a team in New Orleans who, without Zion again, the same, description as last year, but to go out there with Brandon Ingram, CJ McCollum, Jonas Valanciunas, from Trey Murphy. I mean, the list goes on and on, but they were without, again, Zion Williamson and Alvarado. Now, this game, winner of this game would go on to play the loser between the Lakers and Timberwolves. And of course, by now everyone knows that the winner of this game would face off against the Timberwolves, being as though the Lakers moved on to be the 7th seed. So, of course, watching this game, you're looking at matchups. You're looking at how one team would fare versus the Wolves. How would the Thunder look versus the Wolves? How would, the Pelicans look? Who matches up well, But before we get there, you just look at how the Pelicans, and it was evenly matched, honestly, in this whole game. I didn't see Lou Dort having the type of game that he had. He kept them afloat early, especially in the first quarter. I believe he had somewhere around 14 points in the first quarter. But make no mistake, Brandon Ingram did come on in this basketball game, along with Trey Murphy, who had a great game himself. Jonas Valanciunas was dominating on the boards, because we all know that's one thing the Thunder lack, and that is size in the middle when it comes to a big. They don't have that center, so to speak. Even if they were to have a Chet Holmgren, he wouldn't be enough, size-wise, to deal with a Jonas Valanciunas down low. And that spoke volumes. I believe Valanciunas had somewhere over 15 rebounds in this particular game. And that's one thing I've been seeing in these first few play-in games, is that if you have a center that can rebound the ball and the other team doesn't, you're going to somewhat dominate. And it was no different in that particular basketball game. But you did see Josh Giddey's overall just playmaking ability, able to get guys open shots when Shai wasn't getting off early in this basketball game. You seen him rebounding the ball well. Guys like Jalen Williams and Jalen Williams were, equally having, their say in this basketball game. But make no mistake, the Pelicans were fighting in this game. They elected to put in Jackson Hayes, who was getting some good minutes. Guys like Larry Nance Jr. But, the gas that makes the car go with the Pelicans is Brandon Ingram. And he was showing why, even in his, I believe, going into 7th year in the NBA, he's one of those guys. He didn't win Most Improved and be an all-star by accident. He's one of those guys that you can lean on when you need big shots, big buckets, makes and takes. I believe that with Zion, this Pelicans team would be a whole lot more dangerous. It's funny because at one point in the season, the Pelicans were picked as they were a top seed in the West. A lot of people were saying they look scary. Imagine when Brandon comes back. Zion goes down. And Zion Williamson, for him not to play, I'm going to get into that as I lean on to the latter parts of this video. But for, the New Orleans Pelicans and their fan base, we know they was going to come out and they were going to be very energetic. And that showed. But I feel like they just didn't have enough, right? I just feel like they just didn't have enough to counteract what the Thunder was able to do late in that particular basketball game. even though, Brandon Ingram did hit a big shot late in the game and was fouled, wasn't called. The referees haven't been, very keen on a lot of calls in this particular. I feel like this is where you're going to see a lot more physical play. You're going to see a lot more calls that's going to be questionable. You're going to see a lot of things that, you're going to have to look back on the next day and say how or why. But, Brandon Ingram was, in my opinion, fouled on that particular late made three. But it's, again, like I said, it still was not enough. The Thunder ended up beating the New Orleans Pelicans and moving on to play the Minnesota Timberwolves in the next round of the play-in to decide the number 8 seed in the West to go up against the Denver Nuggets. And in my opinion, like I said, this game could have went either way between the Pelicans and Thunder. The Pelicans just needed something else to put them over the hump. And, CJ McCullough spoke to that after the game and spoke about guys being healthy and guys being available and diets and things like that. And he's speaking on nobody other than Zion Williamson. Unfortunately, he was not able to play. I don't know what Dan Gilbert is trying to pull, not allowing Zion to play, but this is 2 years in a row where his team could have used him at this stage of the season and they elected to sit him out. It's unfortunate. Us as basketball fans, we have come accustomed to him being more off the floor than on the floor. He's one of the better, exciting players to grace the floor, not named John Morant, in the last few seasons. So to see him on the bench it's sad, but going forward, we hope to see Zion soon and whatever he's dealing with, whether it's a hamstring issue, any other issues. I mean, the man is pulling 360 dunks in pre-games. So I don't know what it is, honestly. I don't know if it's I don't know. I don't know if it's a ploy done by upper management or whatever, because the Pelicans are right there on the cusp of competing. I'm talking about Western Conference. They're right there competing, and you hold out in my opinion, your best player when he's available, a guy that averages 25 and shoots 60% from the field, and for him not to play in your biggest game of the season, I don't know what that speaks to. I don't know if you're telling, your fans that next year it'll be better. I don't know, but it's like you're doing not only your fan base, but the league and its fan base a disservice. But again, kudos to the Oklahoma City Thunder with their young core. I feel like they could surprise a lot of people, let them get into the actual playoffs, but that is yet to be seen. They still have a game to go versus a very tough Minnesota Timberwolves team who's lying and waiting for them with a few days off. So we will see how that turns out. Of course, I'm going to give you guys my thoughts pre and post game. So let me know what you guys think about this particular game. Thunder fans, Pelicans fans, NBA fans, or if this is just your first time tuning into this channel, let me know what you think in the comments down below. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you can know anytime a video is being uploaded to this channel. It's Astronaut H. This is the What More Do You Want Network, and I'll catch you guys on the next video.